On today's episode of Undercover Boss, the CEO of American Seafoods, one of the largest seafood company in the country, goes undercover. This boss will trade in his private jet and rock star friends for a fishing hook and some stinky fish guts.
Fish meal definitely have a strong, peculiar smell to it.
By working in the front lines in the rough seas, this former fisherman will find out if he still has what it takes to make it in the field and be forced out of his comfort zone.
Doing as fast as I can at this point.
See how that goes? I want you to see that. There's a reason why I don't want that.
And watch the tides turn as he reveals his true identity.
Hi, John.
Being tricked doesn't make me happy.
Stay with us to find out how this great episode of Undercover Boss unfolds. Headquartered in Seattle, Washington, with more than 1,500 employees operating fishing vessels in the sea, American Seafoods is one of the largest seafoods companies in the United States. And leading this $450 million a year business is CEO Brent Bodell.
My name is Bernd Bodal, and I'm the CEO of American Seafoods.
American Seafoods mainly catch and process fish before sending it to restaurants like McDonald's. Brent was born in Norway and he came to the US in 1978 with only a dream and no money. He worked in the vessels in Alaska for 13 years and the work was brutal and very dangerous, but as a captain and a fisherman, he learned about leading people and he joined American Seafoods almost as it was beginning and led it to its great success. Brent loves flying planes and playing music, and he used to be a rock and roll musician back in Norway on a successful band named Host. He now plays with American rock stars on tour, and he gets to experience the excitement on stage. Brent is confident to go back on the ship and be a fisherman again, but his daughter is not convinced, as he has not done hard labor for decades. He's been looking for an opportunity to see how the work is done in the front lines and find problems to fix and improve his company. He'll be going undercover as Buren, a Norwegian hoping to move to America and find a job there. His employees will be told that they're on a reality show where they will judge his performance and recommend or decline him for a job. For his first job, he travels to New Bedford, Massachusetts to work in a processing plant as a maintenance manager.
I'm going to be working as a maintenance manager.
He meets up with John and they go to the fish pit for their first task, and he tells him that the pit must be cleaned once a month and then goes on to tell him that he'll be sending him inside to do it. The pit was very deep and stench with the smell of fish and oil, and just as Brent started to get inside, he hits boiling water.
This water is boiling! Lift me up! Lift me up! It's boiling!
And gets back out immediately, but thankfully the protective suit protected his skin from the water, but John thinks that it wasn't a big deal and says that people do this all the time.
I screamed, I don't want to knock him down too much, but it was like feminine woman, I don't know, maybe it was a little bit of a, I don't know.
John then offers to send him cold water, but Brent refuses to go back in again. They then go to repair wiring on broken machines, and Brent struggles to follow John's instructions, which is starting to make him frustrated and he starts losing his patience.
By cutting the wrong one, what you've done is double the work.
I realized that.
Brent sees that John is really good at his job, but he was not a good teacher.
He maybe wasn't a very patient trainer, but he obviously knows his job very well.
John invites Brent to his office and tells him that he's being let go, and Brent was a little disappointed to end his day early, but understand that he was bad at the job and is glad that a person like him won't be hired there.
John is a guy that will get very easily frustrated by people that are not up to the skill levels, which he should be, and that's why he's not going to hire me in that department.
The next day he travels to Alaska to finally get on a fishing vessel and show his true skills as a fisherman. Brent has been coming to Alaska for the last 30 years and fears that he'll be recognized easily, so he talks to the captain and the manager of his plan so they keep his cover so that other employees don't realize who he is.
Talk to the ship's captain about how to make sure I don't get discovered.
I hope you are not getting seasick.
No, I won't get seasick.
He meets up with Billy and he first gives him the safety rules and they go to the deck and start fishing. Billy is a father of 3, but he can't see them regularly because he has to stay on the ship for up to 6 months.
It's hard though, to get away from your family and stuff, it sucks.
So you have married and got kids, or?
I was married once, yeah.
He then says that if there was internet on the ship, he could at least talk to them on Skype, but the ship system is old and internet is not supported.
But it's a tough lifestyle, you know, you don't have no access to call your family here on the boat, you know. You don't have internet here, you don't have TV, you don't have nothing.
For his next job, he goes to work in the fish meal plant.
I I'm going to be working in the fish meal plant today.
And he meets up with Rafal and he teaches him how to clean the cooker, but Brent wasn't ready to see what comes out of the machine, and it was disgusting and smelly as it was all just grounded up fish.
It's very stinky.
I never worked in a fish meal plant before.
They then work on packing the finished product, and although the job was simple, it was very labor intensive.
Price was how physically hard this work is. The bags were definitely very heavy.
And Brent struggles with it, but after some time, Rafal sees him struggling to keep up, so they decide to go on a break. While on a break, he learns that Rafal is a Polish immigrant who plans to grow in the company and bring his wife and kids to America.
You know, I'm just trying to come through my American dream and, you know, bring my wife here and, you know, my kids.
For his last job, he'll be working in the Tsurumi factory.
Today, I'm going to be working in the Tsurumi factory.
And he meets up with Susanna, and she teaches him how to pack surimi, and Susanna's way of teaching is fast-paced and putting Brent out of his comfort zone.
Production is not gonna wait for you.
I understand.
But she tells him that this was how she was trained as well. And she also goes on to tell him that this method works for her.
When I first started here, I needed to move my ass, you know? My first day was a drag too.
But it really doesn't work for Brent, who was too slow to keep up. Later on their break, he learns that Susanna has been working there for a while and wants to get promoted, but the company's structure is bad and it's hard to get a promotion within the company. She even tells him that she's not seen anyone get promoted since she came and that some people quit because of the lack of opportunity.
It's kind of hard to get promoted.
It's tough to get promoted.
It's tough. It's very tough to get promoted. I haven't seen anybody get promoted since I've been here.
And finally, Brent's undercover time comes to an end, and he invites his employees to his office to reveal his true identity. First in was John, who was at first not happy to find out that he was tricked.
Late work, but I should have known. I had that feeling back on my head. Being tricked doesn't make me happy.
And Brent tells him that he was great at his job and understands why he was let go, and he then tells him that his pay was increased by $10,000, and he also gives him a promotion.
I don't like being tricked, but it turned out for the best. So but I'm grateful to him for a lot.
Next in was Billy, and he reminds him of how tough it was not to talk to his family, so he tells him that the internet will be installed on all the ships from now.
You can't communicate when you're out at sea.
Yeah.
Because of you, Billy, we're going to have internet access for all our crew throughout all our vessels.
And he gives him $20,000 so he can pay for a home.
I think my mom is just going to be really happy and shocked about the internet. I can actually speak to my kids.
Next in was Rafal, and he tells him that he was impressed with his work ethic and offers to fly his family to the US as soon as they get their visas, and he also gives him $25,000 so he can have a good home to accept his family in.
When you move your family to the United States, this will cost you some money. To help you with this, I'd like to give you a gift of $25,000.
Last in was Susanna, and he tells her that he was impressed by her skills and hard work, and he tells her that on the next job opening, she'll be getting a promotion, and he gives her $20,000 to use as she sees fit.
It makes me want to do better. My mom would be proud. My mom would be really proud, you know?
In the weeks since, John is feeling right at home as director of maintenance and is looking forward to taking his family to Portugal this summer. Susanna is determined to become a foreman on a vessel, and Billy has decided to take some time off of work to spend with his family, and Rafal is working hard to bring his family to America and taking private English lessons to advance his career. And that is how this wonderful episode of Undercover Boss comes to an end.